Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's Explore takes place in the derelict Crumlin Road Courthouse. Built in 1850 to dispense justice, it is connected to the jail across the road via an underground tunnel, and after its closure in 1998, it has suffered multiple fires by vandalism and has sat abandoned ever since. So please enjoy the exploration inside this once grand halls of justice, and also guys, please feel free to comment down below, leave a like and subscribe, and hit the bell notification for alerts for future content. Thanks.
We're just going to go looking around all these rooms. We're just starting off on the first floor at the minute, just because this seems like the most overgrown place with everything knocked through. So we're just going to go room to room and have a little look and see what we can find before we try and head downstairs to the underground part, and hopefully we can maybe get down into the tunnels and the jail cells. So these would have been all the office blocks on the first floor. Obviously through these windows here that would lead to the outside. This is the front of the building, and a load of hoardings here. If you were to be able to look straight across the road, there would be the old jail. The old jail's been there since, I think it was the 1800s, maybe even beforehand. And through all of its time there, it has taken part in a lot of executions by hanging, where people would have been brought down as far away as Carrickfergus and beyond in horse and cart to be brought down to here to then be hung over in the jail. The jail still exists nowadays. It is built up as a tourist attraction, whereas the old courthouse has fallen into disrepair. It has been said that it's been bought over by a couple of owners, but so far nobody has actually done anything to the place. I'm kind of a native, as you would say, till this place. I was born only 2 minutes walk up the road from here, so I've knew this place all my life, but this is the first time I've actually been in and walking around, because it's always just been a place that you would have stayed away from whenever you were growing up. Yes, we did jump in and out of old abandoned housing and such, but you never really came down to the courthouse, even though it was always, you know, I caught the sort of tail end whenever it was still actually working, a working courthouse. But after that, it still held that sort of air to it that you just didn't want to be near it. So, just taking this. That's the way we came there a wee minute ago. There's a couple of rooms left and right. I don't think I've been down to this one. Hold on. Old doors are laying on the floor. Don't really want to be putting too much of a weight on this. It seems like down there was a place where I was a couple of minutes ago downstairs, and this is completely open to the elements now, but there would have been, you know, a large room probably through there, maybe a courtroom, and this would have been the watchers gallery and stuff like that just through here. But we'll go back inside. It is amazing to actually finally get in and have a look around. It is such a large building, and according to people, there is a lot of places in here that they just keep popping up and finding. Like, they don't always they don't always know where everything is. This is interesting. This giant hole in the floor. And as such, you do get the vandals who do come in, and this place was set alight. I can actually remember whenever it was set alight. It was a very, very large fire, and there was a lot of crews in attendance just trying to put this thing out. But even though it's been, you know, quite severely fire damaged, a lot of it is still standing. It is a really, really structurally sort of sound building in my sort of expertise, which is none at all. It's just made of stone, so it's standing pretty good. In here we seem to have some little toilets with the roof missing, and a lot of bits and pieces growing through. Yep, that's the ladies' toilets, as marked. So this must be the gents. And a little cubby hole. Yeah, this would have been another little toilet. Don't really know what it opens out to though. Possibly another corridor, or yeah, just seems like a little enclave. So head back on through here now. You just have to be kind of wary when I'm coming through here, because according to some guys that have been through here previously, there is a lot of sort of drugs, paraphernalia lying around, and I do not want to be getting stuck by anything like that. So just have to keep my wits about me and look down to the ground quite often. Make sure I'm not going to be near any sort of using needles or anything like that. Right, we'll go outside and try and hook back around into that room, because this paneling doesn't seem to move. So we're going to go through this little door back into the outside. This must have been another sort of courtroom. That's a really nice, maybe a statue stood here at one time. So we're outside at the minute. Well, I would say outside, but technically this would have been inside. There's no roof on the place at the minute, but I'm guessing that this would have been one of the courtrooms, because it looks like a large interior space, and there would have been a balcony and thing here, and all of these off rooms. I can see sort of rooms on through there beyond the brush, and don't really know where this here goes here. Seems like there's a little tunnel bore through that way. So we'll take a wee look around there in a minute. We'll just go back on ourselves and go and look in through this little room over here. Now, check out this really old Victorian post box, and you can see the old Lady of Justice up here, which is missing her scales. Scales have been well and truly taken, and these are the big pillars. So this is the front doors. Trying not to cause a massive racket. Big massive racket. These are, or would have been, the front doors to go into the courts. So that must be the main foyer in there. This is actually outside onto the front of the road and the outside of the courts. Just down there would be the front gate, and if you can see in the background there with the chimney in the background, that is actually the jail. And just over to the right, sort of, if I get my finger in these here, that's the jail blocks. And over there they would have been the old wardens' houses, or the prison officers' houses. Check that out. Big heavy door. Still quite easy to open. Inside. I'd say somebody's actually using this, maybe as a little bit of a house. There's some toothbrushes and bits and bobs for needles by the look of it, and an old can of juice. So I'll not be staying around here too long, because fair play the person's homeless and stuff like that, but we don't want to be intruding on their sort of living area. Another thing to note just about in here is that before these rafters or anything like that were built, that you can see there is a lot of decoration. This would have been the original decoration for the place, and then it seems like they've dropped the ceilings so that they're lower vaulted ceilings. Check for all this stuff. So we'll just bypass all this very easily. Remnants of people's bags, and there's an old hat over there too. Looks like it would be the old circuit breaker room, and the floor is a bit too far damaged, so I'm not going to be going in there. Still at the front of the building. Stairway going up, so we'll take there very shortly. This would have been another office room. Just turn the light back on. More little underfloor or under the stairs cubby holes. Maybe an old boiler. If I could just squeeze past here. Some old toilets again, or what's left of them, with the bars on the windows. Obviously you don't want anybody to be jumping out and escaping their sentencing. So we're just going to scoot down these hallways here and have a little look in these rooms. This is room number 16, and just have to be very careful walking through. Not really any idea of what this would be. I'm guessing more office. Don't know whether that's a set of stairs. You can see there would have been an old fireplace there, and then upstairs things seem to have fallen through. See again, you wouldn't really know what's under these floors. Because everything seems so, you know, built over the top of. Like, obviously that could have been the original flooring down there and they've just raised it up. But you wouldn't really know what you would find still in there. Some nice, really old doors. Okay, check this out. This looks like a really old bellhop or elevator of some sort. And I can see that there is some sort of a doorway down here, but for the life of me I'm not going to chance stepping onto this to get down there when this thing looks like it is literally hanging on by a thread. But it is quite cool. And who knows what's behind this. It kind of looks like some sort of vault door. It is very, very thick, and the hinges on it are very large indeed. The PMP looks cool, but you know, I couldn't imagine what is behind that. Some wee pigeons, lovely. Okay, so now that we've checked out the wee bellhop, I'm just going to head on now on through these rooms. Bit more windy and exposed to the outside, and just because of the way that the building is actually orientated, I would say that we're on the far left front of the building. These would be the front windows and the side windows. So beyond us here, another sort of 70 to 100 meters out that way, there's a doctor's, a little doctor's surgery. Even the steel beams have fallen down on this one. That's the outside upper levels of the courthouse. So we're just going to duck back in around the room and come back out this way, and we'll go in and check that room. As you can see here, somebody's made a nice little board crossing to get across here. And this would have been another big courtroom out there by the look of it. Okay, so we're going to go in here. This room seems to have a wee bit of an air about it, if I was to say it like that. There's definitely a strange feeling in here. Sometimes whenever you're walking through places like this, in places you just feel nostalgic and that's great and everything's cool, but whenever you come into certain rooms, you get that sort of that aura of just something wasn't right. I don't know what this place could have been. It seems like a well intact room. For the size of it, like the floorboards. Everything seems to be more or less fine. And the piping and everything's been left in, but the radiator's been taken obviously. There's a big window. This is the only sort of piece of flooring that's damaged. Maybe people was hunting for the copper pipes or anything like that's below ground. I wonder where all these doors at one point. Maybe still attached, or they've been just kicked off the hinges, or they're obviously really rotten, or as I've just went through that one. Walking across the little bridge. I'm taking my chance on this wooden plank, but it feels quite secure. This would have been another big outside courtroom, or outside, what am I even talking about? Just too busy taking in the sights. This would have been another courtroom, but now it's only outside because the roof has been burnt and fell through. As you can see, a lot of the burnt wood is about here. And I wonder, would that have been somewhere down here where the defendant was taken down and into the tunnels? Because even below me it seems like there's a wee bit of a drop. It's quite cool. Doesn't really seem to be very much on the opposite side to go and have a look for. So we're going to go back in and possibly upstairs at the moment. Let me just work my way back here. Some of the old marble flooring still showing through all the dirt. With the aid of number 36, we're going to try and walk up the stairs. There seems to be a little part of the building. See, holding on to the imaginary banister. This would have been the centre of the building. Okay, so we're just on the upstairs level now of the courthouse. Room 35 is completely fallen through, so there's no access into there, nor above me there is not really much going on. So I'm going to go down to the left here. There's a couple of little rooms. Check this out, this looks cool. We'll have a nice upstairs view. Let me just turn the light off again. Nice little upstairs view out onto the main road. And there is the front of the jail just across the road. And down there with the battle axe looking thing on the gate is the actual front gate of the courthouse. Hopefully we'll be able to find it later on here, but there is a tunnel that runs from the courthouse all the way out onto the main road and into the jail. And that was to transport the prisoners over to the cells, as well as to keep them out of sight of anybody who was possibly looking to do a hit-on. We'll just take it very slowly going down here because there is holes in the floor. It does seem like it's quite intact. Nice. Again, nice big window. Looking to the outside. Very cool. Possibly could have been interview rooms. So that looks like it would have had a slide on it to tell you if the room was occupied or not. This is the bar. This is where all the judges, all the barristers, lawyers would have congregated. Their wee bathroom. This would have been their chambers where they could have came to sort of relax in between court sessions. Again, view of the outside of the road. All these houses here would have been the prison officers' houses. A lot of them would have lived there with their families to save them having to commute back and forward to the jail and possibly end up getting killed by the troubles that were happening at the time. Some really, really nice old Victorian style gas lamps. And if you can see the roof just in the background here, like the grey sort of slate grey beyond the top of the houses, that is another wing of the prison. Okay, let's move on. Possibly be maybe the ladies' restroom, I would imagine. Awesome views here of Black Mountain. I don't know if you can see in the distance up here there's a church tower. That was the church I was christened in. I only just lived sort of in these houses just before the church. Long time ago. World War I houses, and now they're all knocked down. They were used in a film, but I just can't think of. I tried looking, but I can't think of what the film's called. Another room. It's really cool. To be careful here. This seems like the last room on the left hand side of the building itself. Check that out. Okay, so now that we've done the upstairs of the left hand side of the courthouse, going to head back down now. Back down the stairs. And there's another set of stairs similar to these, just at the other end of the building. So we're going to go down that end now and see where those stairs bring you up. As you can see here, this is the other side of the steps. We'll take a wee journey up here, if I can. Check that out. I'll go as far as to say that this is, this would have been the main courtroom maybe, because it definitely looks grand with all these alcoves in the wall. On through the brush here. Let's see where this brings you. The room's inaccessible. This would be room 33. It's starting to be reclaimed by nature, I would say. I don't want to stick my head too far above the parapet, but down there's the main road. Room 35. As you can see, this is just basically where we were 2 minutes ago. Maybe I should have just came through the forest. Okay, so we'll just track back through the forest and then we'll go and head up this side of the upstairs over there, and then we'll head downstairs because the rain looks like it might be moving in very soon. It's really nice looking big stairway. I could imagine there was some grand banisters around here, but you can see there they've been cut off. So they probably ended up as scrap somewhere, or somebody's front garden gates. Okay, we're going to take the stairs again. Hold on to our imaginary banisters. And just hit the light back on. Seems like a couple of pigeons nesting up there. Nothing really worth going out that way for. So we'll head back down the stairs. It actually has a banister for a change. Really old chair. full lights. As you can see under the floor here, goes for quite a distance. Same through all these places. It's pretty cool. Really unsure of just where we are at the minute, because there seems like all these little rat runs branch off everywhere, but it's where they take you is the mystery. Like in here, for example. Okay, so I've discovered that it's not that way, so we're going to try a different way. Right, so this must be the way to the tunnels, so we're just going to track under and see. Rooms. Look at that. Number 39. Looks like an old jailer's door. Pigeons. You can see a little sliding hatch. Check this out. Another hallway adjacent. And stairway down. That's where we're going. Lovely. This was one of the parts that was actually on fire by the looks of it. It still even has that old smell of charred wood through this doorway here. Which is all nicely caged off. And that would be the jail cells just downstairs. We'll go down there in a little minute. Check that out for a picture.